For Channel 7, I'm Pedro Rivera.
And there's still more news ahead. Eyewitness News at 5 starts right now.
Right now, it's New York's #1 news with Bill Ritter and Sade Baderinwa and meteorologist Lee Goldberg with the exclusive AccuWeather forecast. Now, Eyewitness News at 5.
We have new video tonight of a deadly triple shooting in Inwood. Tonight, we're going to hear from the sole survivor.
An intense video, a Yonkers police sergeant brought up on charges for assaulting a man during an arrest.
An emotional sentencing day today for 2 men responsible for separate drunk driving crashes that killed 5 people on Long Island. And among the victims, several members of a family who were leaving a Sweet 16 party.
And should social media apps have warning labels like the ones on cigarette packages? We'll tell you why the Surgeon General wants to make that happen. And good evening at 5 o'clock. I'm Sade Baderinwa.
And I'm Bill Ritter. We're going to have more on those stories in just a moment. But we begin with the weather because we're on the verge of an expected heat wave. In fact, some areas could see 7 days of temperatures above 90 degrees, way beyond your typical tri-state heat wave.
New York City activated its heat emergency plan for the first time this year. City cooling centers will be open starting tomorrow to give everyone a place to beat the heat. And air quality may be unhealthy for some.
Meanwhile, children, older adults, pregnant people, and those with certain medical conditions may be especially vulnerable to extremes temperatures. High temps, in fact, can be taxing on the whole electrical system. Both Con Ed in New York and PSG&E in New Jersey say workers are ready to respond to any service issues. They urge consumers to use energy efficiently.
Eyewitness News reporter NJ Burkett is live with more on New York City's preparations, but we begin with meteorologist Jeff Smith. He's in for Lee Goldberg tonight with the forecast. Jeff?
Yeah, Sade, summer definitely issuing an early warning shot. As early as tomorrow, it's going to feel like 95 to 100 areas just a few miles away from the coast where we have these heat advisories in effect. And you don't see this too often around here. An excessive heat watch, and that's for Wednesday through Saturday for interior New Jersey. Heat index values each of those afternoons 100 to 105 degrees. Not only that, air quality will be deteriorating significantly throughout the week. In fact, it'll be unhealthy for sensitive groups tomorrow. There's an air quality alert in effect from New York City and points north and west with elevated ground level ozone, and those AQI values probably above 100 by that point. So yeah, you're 82 right now in the park. We can handle that, right? But you did already get up to the 90-degree mark in Newark. So you began your heat wave in Newark very early. Inconceivably, we can go right through the weekend into early next week, 90 plus in that area, 86 at Morristown. You are in the 70s, a little bit of natural air conditioning in Long Island, with that wind coming in off the cooler waters of the Atlantic. And as long as we have a southerly wind, we'll be talking about the city not getting quite up to the 90-degree mark. It'll take the wind coming in more from a southwesterly direction to get us into the 90s here in New York City. That'll happen by later on in the week, though. 70 for a low tonight in Midtown. How about 88 tomorrow? But inland, you're well into the 90s. Northern New Jersey, up into parts of the mid-Hudson Valley. So 90s inland both tomorrow and Wednesday, feeling like the 90s in the city, even if we don't hit that 90-degree mark. The heat wave probably holds off officially until Thursday for New York City and right along the coast. Those two, Thursday and Friday, the peak of the heat feeling like 100 or higher. And again, air quality deteriorating throughout the week. I know this seems like common sense, but it's good to reiterate this stuff for a heat wave this early in the season. Drink plenty of fluids, stay in air conditioning if you can, limit time out in the sun if you have to be outdoors, light and loose clothing, avoid overexertion, check on neighbors, and definitely check on the pets as well. The one saving grace, maybe a few pop-up storms giving us a little bit of relief by the weekend. We'll detail that in your AccuWeather 7-day forecast coming up. Bill, Sade.
Jeffrey, we cannot have too much common sense. Thank you.
Right. All right, thanks, Jeff. Eyewitness News reporter NJ Burkett continues our coverage live in Sunset Park, Brooklyn. NJ? Right. Dr. Vivek Murthy says studies show that teens who spend 3 hours a day on social media double their risk of depression. He's pleading for Congress to pass a bill that would require apps to warn parents and children about the dangers of social media.
That applause you hear in the background are parents of children.
I think it's a lot of parents.
Yeah, well, that's
something needs to be done.
Good thing he's doing. Still ahead on Eyewitness News at 5 o'clock, a shocking new report about the air toxins near the Gowanus Canal.
Plus, the so-called Bling Bishop is sentenced for scamming a parishioner out of $90,000. How long he'll spend behind bars. Plus this.
Bomb.com. And, you know, Nina Pineda, if it wasn't for you, I don't know what I would do.
Nina.
A car impounded and about to be auctioned off until Nina Pineda and 7 on your side blocks the bid for a retired New York cop wrongfully accused of raking up and thousands of dollars in fines. I just think it's bad. It's supposedly getting cleaned up, but there are shocking new details about the levels of toxins near the Gowanus Canal and in the area surrounding the highly contaminated body of water.
An environmental database firm found levels of air toxin inside one building near the canal to be 450 times the state health department's recommended threshold.
The firm also finding high levels of toxins in nearby soil. So what can be done to try to fix this problem?
Here's Eyewitness News reporter Lauren Glassberg.
In downtown Stamford, I'm Joe Torres, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
More inclusivity. Way to go. Well, there's still much more news ahead. Eyewitness News at 6 starts right now.
Right now, it's New York's #1 news with Bill Ritter and Liz Joe. Ryan Field with sports and meteorologist Lee Goldberg with the exclusive AccuWeather forecast. Now, Eyewitness News at 6.